Good afternoon, students of Chinese YMCA Secondary School. We are now going to play you the news clip from yesterday.
More than 5 million people in Florida have been ordered to evacuate as the U.S. state braces for a direct hit from Hurricane Irma. This after Irma tore through the Caribbean, where it killed 22 people. It's a race against time in Florida to escape the wrath of Irma. For those living in precarious areas, the message is dire. A Category 5 storm surge will be deadly, so get out now.
We are running out of time. The storm is almost here. If you are in an evacuation zone, you need to go now.
The monster storm has now grown double the size of the entire state. 5.6 million people have been ordered to evacuate to safety. The problem is the state only has about 40 shelters, and most are already full. Elsewhere, Irma slammed into the Bahamas as a weakened yet powerful Category 4 storm. Authorities warn those living near the sea may have no homes to return to. Irma also slammed ashore on the Turks and Caicos Islands and ripped it up. Irma rattled buildings, downed trees, and smashed boats as it raged through the British Virgin Islands. Drone video proves that Irma's wicked winds, reaching 290 kilometers per hour, wrecked countless homes and buildings. Britain is looking at ways to get the hardest hit areas the help they need.
I've just chaired the Government's Emergency Committee, COBRA, looking at the further support we can provide to the British Overseas Territories in the Caribbean with these terrible hurricanes.
What we're trying to do now is to get those islands back up on their feet. They've had a terrible time.
The storm also lashed St. Martin, tearing down trees, flattening homes, and causing widespread damage.
Did a lot of damage. We've lost many homes. Schools have been destroyed. The island is on a total blackout. Water tanks have imploded.
Irma battered Cuba with devastatingly high winds and pelting rain. In Cayo Guillermo, dolphins from one of Cuba's most popular tourist attractions were flown by helicopter to a safer region. The island of Barbuda has been left in a state of ruins, and schools were obliterated. Those living on the northern coast of the Dominican Republic say Irma plowed past them, toppling trees and downing power lines. Back in the United States, emergency officials warn other states to beware of Irma's wrath.
Anybody from Alabama to North Carolina should be watching this storm very closely. The forecast and the direct impacts of this storm have yet to be determined.
And for the record, there are now 3 hurricanes in the Atlantic, creating a tropical triple threat. As Hurricane Jose has strengthened to a Category 4 storm, Hurricane Katia made landfall in the Gulf of Mexico. Katia was a Category 1 storm when it came roaring onshore Friday night in the Mexican state of Veracruz. Officials expect landslides and flooding to follow. Residents living below hills have been warned to evacuate. Early this morning, Katia weakened to a tropical storm. It's now moving sluggishly at only 3.2 kilometers per hour near the Sierra Madre Mountains. Experts say it will weaken further throughout the day.
The number dead in the powerful earthquake that rocked Mexico late Thursday has risen to more than 60. The 8.1 magnitude quake was the most powerful to hit Mexico in more than 80 years. Alan Booknia reports.
The town of Yucatan on Mexico's narrowest point bore the brunt of the disaster, with a town hall, a hotel, a church, and many other buildings reduced to rubble. The town is best known among international travelers for its matriarchal society. Its mayor, Gloria Sanchez, said the situation is critical, calling it the most terrible moment in Yucatan's history. Heavily armed soldiers patrolled and stood guard at areas cordoned off due to the extent of the damage. President Enrique Peña Nieto flew in from Mexico City to survey the extent of the damage and offer his support. He noted that more than half of the people killed in the quake nationally were in Yucatan, and hundreds there were injured. Nieto declared 3 days of national mourning and vowed the government would help rebuild the town. The quake was even felt in Mexico City, more than 1,000 kilometers away, where windows were shattered and power went out in several neighborhoods. Amateur video captured the city's iconic Angel of Independence statue swaying back and forth as lightning lit up the sky. At a magnitude of 8.1, the quake was stronger than the devastating 1985 trembler that flattened swaths of Mexico City and killed thousands. This seismological expert says because of that earthquake, Mexico now has greater preparedness and stricter building laws. Otherwise, he said, the damage this time could have been far greater. Authorities reported dozens of aftershocks and said 50 million of Mexico's population of 120 million felt the earthquake. Alan Bukniat, TVB News.
In Hong Kong, another banner mocking public figures appeared today at the Education University. This time, the targets were the late mainland dissident Liu Xiaobo and his surviving wife, Liu Xia. Caleb Leung reports.
The offensive banner was put up on the Democracy Wall at the Education University in Tai Po. It mocked the death of Nobel Peace Prize laureate Liu Xiaobo and the detention of his wife Liu Xia. The university's management deemed the banner offensive and took it down in accordance with standard procedures. An official spokesman says the Education University is extremely regretful and condemned the incident. It will go through security camera footage and investigate the incident thoroughly. The university will also enhance security patrols on campus. Lala Lai, president of the university's student union, says no offensive signs should be posted on the university's Democracy Wall. She noted that the banner put up early today was similar to the ones mocking Undersecretary for Education Christine Choi. However, she noted that the university is treating the cases with different attitudes, possibly because of the different political backgrounds of Liu and Choi. Meanwhile, the Education University held a meeting on Friday with its faculty members and students over the Christine Choi signs. According to the student union, the university noted the headmasters of some local schools have decided never to employ graduates from the university. 10 students have also lost their internships because of the incident. Lala Lai slammed those schools for being unfair, as the university hasn't even confirmed if the culprits are indeed students of the institute. In response, Secretary for Education Kevin Yeung believes headmasters will be rational when choosing teachers, and not all Education University students will be affected. Banners mocking Christine Choi were also spotted at the City University late last night, but they were later removed from the Democracy Wall by the student union. The union says it respects the freedom to express ideas, but any personal attacks are prohibited. Caleb Leung, TVB News.
2 men were injured when a fire broke out at a car park in Tseung Kwan-o. One of them is in critical condition. The workers, both 18 years old, were rushed to hospital. One of them suffered burns to his hand, face, and chest. The other injured his hand. They were working inside an air conditioning plant room when it caught fire at around noon. That room is located in the car park of Metro City Phase 1. Officers found cigarette butts and a lighter on the site and suspect the fire was triggered while a cleaning solution was being used.
North Koreans are celebrating the 69th anniversary of the founding of the country. It was marked with familiar routines of the laying of flowers and bowing to the statues of past leaders. There was concern in South Korea the North may mark the anniversary with the 3rd intercontinental ballistic missile test, but none was detected. Meanwhile, North Korea's ambassador to Mexico has been ordered to leave the country within 72 hours over the country's nuclear tests. The Mexican government called it a grave threat to the region and to the world. Ambassador Kim Hyong-gil branded the move as ignorant and said the country's nuclear program is an issue for the U.S. and not Mexico.